Hi guys, welcome. I welcome you again for our Friday streaming. Today was more challenging than other days to get here on time. In actual fact, my daughter is just behind me, so if you hear a bit of coughing here and there, that's her, bless her. We didn't manage to get to bed because of cough, but anyway, greeting you all. Today we are going to be together with Zuzka talking about components of love, or we are going to be talking about theory of love. And I guess from the title, maybe description told you a little bit more, but from the title you'll be maybe wondering like what we are going to be talking about, because love has been talked about for centuries and centuries and millennia maybe as a phenomenon by philosophers, by psychologists, by random people who wanted to explore this fascinating feeling that makes us, some people say blind, some people say in a cloud, some people say stupid maybe even, and today we are going to be talking about love from Sternberg's point of view. Sternberg is called triangular theory of love. So it has been developed in 80s by this psychologist called Robert Sternberg. And this theory is talking about and suggesting there are several types of love and components that create different types of love in terms of their quality and vibration and the outcome and how we feel inside the relationship. Oh, bless her. So I'm bringing Zuzana into our streaming. Any moment she's going to join me. Very happy about, because it's always nice to talk to someone. It's kind of like banter is better than a single monologue. Susie, hi, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome, honey. Thank you very much for joining me. And sorry about it, guys. We are starting a little bit later. So we are going to be talking about theory of love. Zuzi, what came to you when you in your mind, when obviously we are talking about love because it was Valentine's Day, but also it's a very interesting subject in terms of relationships. What does it give you, or when you read this article, how do you think it might be helpful to our people?
Yeah, it was interesting because I wasn't aware of those components of love, of this theory basically. I was aware of components of love because obviously I had relationships. I am in a relationship, and there are stages, and we fluctuate from one to another, and yeah, so it was interesting, and it was very good to actually read it and see, all right, okay, so it is okay to be, or just to kind of how would I say, just to kind of be okay with it, and be like relate to it, that it's okay to be in one component or two components at the same time, or come out of one, or sometimes be at all three and all of that. So yeah, it was really,
and sometimes
really
realize you've got one left, because we are going to tell you much more about it because there's so much juice. But I just wanted to start this streaming with because I think it's very, very useful. In any relationship, to kind of get awareness about, okay, where I stand in relationship, and have that kind of like, when you check yourself in a mirror and you see the reality,
Yeah.
sorry about this, when you see reality, and when you do kind of like, okay, this is where we are, because that's where you can do something about it. So I really look forward to this streaming, and we welcome you all. But firstly, we are going to briefly introduce ourselves. Susie?
Shall I start?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Zuzana Taylor. I'm a transformational coach, business coach, and also an EFT practitioner, amongst everything else. But these are my three main things that I do. I help women to take to help them to take off the layers that are keeping them stuck, if that's how they feel, and so that they can, which we all have them, and we are conditioned from even not knowing that we are, but there are, we're conditioned to some extent, and might not be feeling ourselves, or this is the life I want to live, or this is where I want to be, or feeling like, I'm destined, or I know there is more in me and I can do more. So I help them to, and through that, to come back to themselves, to know and to feel how it feels and what it's like to be yourself, so that you can be powerful, you can do everything that you want to be, or do everything that you want to do. So that's a quick description of what I do. Yeah.
Thank you, Susie, and thank you for what you do and for supporting all these women. Very briefly, my name, for those of you who don't know me yet, is Lucia Hoxer. I'm a fertility and relationship transformational coach. I'm also a mom of 2 little girls. One of them might be coughing from time to time behind us, unfortunately. Yep, that's her.
Oh, bless.
But she's being taken care of. And what do I do? Yeah, I'm happily married with my husband. It's been 11 years, I think now. His name is Bloody. And what do? I support women. I support women all over the world, and I have been doing this for many years. It's very interesting, because when I look from where my women are coming from, I think they're just being drawn to me because of my energy, because of what I do, because maybe of my story, or how I cope with difficult situations. Sometimes we just draw people to ourselves, just being inspiring, because they know us, they know what we went through. And my life has not always been easy, and it's maybe not even easy now, but I guess what I do with my people, and at the same time with myself, I'm someone who in my life, as well as with my people, I am really being a stand for you to live the best possible life you can have in all the areas, but my focus is mainly on relationships. And that's why today we are talking about relationships. So let's, without further ado, let's start with a theory of love. So we are going to go straight head on. Let us know if you heard about Sternberg's theory of love. Very briefly, before we start different types of love, we are going to tell you about 3 main components we are going to be kind of talking about, just so you know what we are related to when we are talking about these 3 components. Susie, would you like to introduce those 3 components we are going to be talking about?
So I'll try to show a picture, because Lucy send me a picture, so you will see my screen. So can you see? So these are the 3 components of the love, according to his theory. So the first one is intimacy, the second one is passion, and the third one is decision and commitment.
Yeah.
So I'll put it back to myself. So intimacy, let's start with intimacy, because that's at the top. Intimacy is about feeling. It involves feelings, closeness, being connected, and bonding. So that could be also friendship. That's how, probably, I don't know, but that's how a relationship may start or starts or can start. One
And
of
when
the
we are
things.
talking about intimacy in this theory, in this sense, we are not talking about physical contact yet. Okay, that's next one. But intimacy, like Zuzka said, more about connection, more about, you know, emotional.
Emotions,
For
yeah.
woman, it can be a lot to do with, you know, is he hearing me? Does he understand me? Is he aware of my needs? Does he get me? You know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
When we're talking about intimacy.
So that's intimacy. Then the next one is passion. So that is the one that you were just mentioning. It's the feeling of being desired or desire, be attracted to someone, or attraction, romance, and then sexual consumption. What is it? Consummation. Sexual consummation. Sexual relationship. Sex. So, and the last one is decision or commitment. So it's basically it's the step that when we decide or commit to take steps to make towards our shared goals, or to make the commitment, to make the relationship, commit to the relationship in any form. It could be short commitments, or it could be long commitments. So these are the three components, main ones.
So yeah, when we are talking about commitment, is again, you know, that feeling in relationship when you are in, it doesn't have to be marriage, but I mentioned marriage because that's how we know it as, that's the ultimate commitment. You've got a ring, you've got a paper to sign it, but it doesn't have to be. It can be commitment within unmarried couple. What is important is that they both feel that they are committed to the same thing. They're committed to stay, you know, whether they have arguments or not, they know at the back of their mind, and they even voice it out, or is even unspoken, but it's said that, you know, they're committed to each other to stay, to get through the problems. They are not kind of taking a Uber, you know, or thinking of Uber, meaning, you know, I want to get out of this relationship, you know, in any way. They are kind of in there. They might be thinking, okay, this is difficult, this is hard, we might need, you know, maybe even counseling or coaching, but we are still committed to get through it. That's what we are talking about, commitment, even in those cases. So let's talk about now, within these three components, we are going to play a little bit, and we are going to talk about, basically, essentially, it's what is that, seven? Is it seven?
Seven altogether.
Yes. Yeah. Seven altogether possibilities, and as we speak about it, maybe you will hear yourself in one of them, or maybe in two of them, or maybe yourself in a past with your, you know, with someone else.
Previous relationships, yeah.
Because when I was doing this, when I was writing this, those thoughts been coming to me as well. Yes, for you as well. You know, like when I was a teenager and stuff. Yeah,
same. So yeah, that's why I said at the beginning, it's like it makes sense, doesn't it? It's kind of, you can kind of relate to it. I was like, okay, this is what it was.
Yes, exactly. So let's start with first one. And the first one, well, Susie, I let you go ahead.
So the first one is so all this, just to explain a bit. So all these three components, they interact with each other. So you can have, so it's intimacy, passion, and decision and commitment. So then they can combine. They can be combined, two or three together. Ideally, the three are. It says, that's how it says basically in his theory. That is ideal love.
ideal world,
in an
you want it
ideal
all.
world is ideal love when they all three together, when they're present. And then they can be two or one just present, or a combination of all of them. So this is what we're going to go through now. When there is none present, that is non-love. So that means there is no relationship, there is nothing, it's no commitment, nothing. So it's called non-love. Just to make sure that we know that these are the three main ones. So the first one is, the first component is intimacy, which is liking.
We have a friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I had a friendship component.
Friendship, yeah, and that's liking, isn't it?
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah, I got you.
But so this means, if I get this wrong, so if I get this right, so this means when intimacy or liking component is present, so there's only it's only this one component, which is intimacy, which is liking. You start to like someone, or you have something in common. Yeah, that's the basic step for me, at least.
Yes.
And the passion or commitment are not present, so they're missing. So it's the like factor.
Yeah. And this is what happens when people are being misunderstood. Yes, baby? Ďakujem, láska. Niečo sme našli na perine. So, sadkaj si, láska. So, basically, this first what do you call it? First type, as we call it, friendship, is exactly like when you remember when we've been misunderstood, that, you know, the boy likes the girl, but he likes her. You're going to be here, don't you?
Yeah.
She's such a superstar. But he doesn't like her that way. You know what I mean? When this is where the heartbreak gets, no, come to me.
Kind of misunderstanding, isn't
misunderstanding.
Or
this
misreading, not reading.
Yeah. Yes. When it's being misread. So one person is in love, the other one likes that other person, but not that way. So that's when we have a first component, a first type of love.
Which is friendship. It's creating friendship, meaningful friendship, and you know, people like each other. There is a liking involved.
Yeah.
But romantic and commitment is not there. So the second one is passion, which is infatuation. Passion is, according to the theory, is when when the first one, which is liking and passion, is involved, but there is no liking or intimacy, which is the same thing, and passion is involved, but there is no commitment.
There's nothing else, basically.
Else.
You know, people are completely infatuated by each other, that there's lots of sex, there's wild sex, but, you know, it's those kind of relationships you know, where there is no chance for any commitment. Like, he just wants to, you know, girls used to say, he just wants to have a sex with me. And sometimes it works, sometimes that's what you want in life. But there is no, you know, no intimacy, there's no chat, no support, no,
but it
emotional.
could develop into something, into commitment.
Of course,
it can develop into commitment, or into something deeper. So the next one is empty love, which is only commitment. So the passion and intimacy is not present, is not there. So it's only commitment. So it could be different. It could be different scenarios, like arranged marriages, or even already in relationship when there is children, for example, involved, or finances or something. The passion, the intimacy is gone, and is only commitment,
I
or there
yeah.
is only commitment. Or there is, is arranged. Is they're committed, but their passion and intimacy are not there yet.
Yes, and this it's yeah. Zuzka mentioned arranged marriages, but actually, I would dare to say that it's a lot of marriages who've been long together, where people
Yes.
been together for a long time. Unfortunately, this type of love is very common with people who has been together for a long time, but unfortunately, intimacy is not there. They lost the way how to talk to each other. They didn't resolve the problems for many years. We kind of brushed them under the carpet, or they simply lost spark. Not only
Yeah,
sparkle in terms
the
of
passion is
passion.
gone. Yeah.
Passion is definitely gone, but they also, because sometimes you have passion somewhere where intimacy is not there. But in this case, all is left is a commitment, and most of the time the commitment is still there just because of children, or because woman is thinks that she's got no option because either financially she's not independent enough, or she's got nowhere to move to, or vice versa, or man doesn't have. So they are together only as a. So we are just going to continue. Last we've been talking about was so-called empty love. Empty love, where from three components, all that is left is just commitment. Zuzi, welcome back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. So let's go to next one, which is romantic love. And in terms of components here, what we have is intimacy and passion. So there is, just note that there is no commitment. There is basically two people who got a great relationship. They like each other. They can have a long conversations. There is a lots of lots of affection, lots of trust, and kind of they laugh a lot, and there is also great sex, and passion, but there is no commitment. And you might ask, like, how is this possible? How is it even possible when these two people are getting along so well and everything is good? How come they have no same ground? And this happens from my experience for various reasons. Sometimes it can be that they are too young, or they have different they are basically not prepared to be committed. Mostly I have had a women in this situation where men had divorced parents, or women can have divorced parents, and she had a bad experience from marriage of her parents, and that's why she or he is too scared to commit in terms of marriage or otherwise, or even like commit firmly into relationship, like they're leaving the back doors open for some reason. So this is can be. Zuzi wanted to add something.
Yeah, so this one was like really resonated with me, because it reminded me of how my relationship with my husband started. Exactly like you say. So there was intimacy, so we got on, we shared things, and there was passion, but I just came out of a long-term relationship, so I wasn't really ready to commit. Although we had all this, but after a while, that for me, and this is for me, I wanted to commit, so I developed into commitment. Whereas for my husband, he knew he wanted to commit straight away. Because even when I wasn't entering the relationship into, it was friendship, quick friendship, and also there was intimacy and passion, but no commitment from my side. From his side, there was commitment, because he saw it that way. He already saw being with me for long term. So it could be like that. So, and also these this triangle could have different. It could be different for each individual in the relationship, right? So maybe some intimacy is bigger for the other one is short, smaller, or you know, so it has different shapes and forms. So does it make sense?
Let us know. Let us
Let
know
us
if it
know if
makes sense.
it makes sense.
I'm sure most of us been in relationship in some point of life, which got this kind of
Yeah.
form. Yeah. It's
How was it
interesting
for
to think
you?
of.
So how was it for you?
For me, I'm trying to remember, like for us, me and Bled, I must say my current husband, because I've been married before as well. But in my current relationship, I must say that in terms of commitment, we hopped into it really quick. I mean, we started living with each other after about a month.
Okay.
So, and that still doesn't mean anything, but I think we've been, I don't know, just from the beginning, yeah. And I think it was the first man in my life I didn't have to, you know, kind of have those worries. You know, when you're a teenager, you think, even like adult, when I was
Yeah.
like, is he going to call me? Is he not going to call me? Is he going to, you
Yeah.
know, am I being too needy? Or, you know, I didn't have that with him. I really, we just both just went into it, I think, you know, full on from the very beginning, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Not always it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So okay, so let's carry on. So this was romantic love.
Yes.
Yeah. So the next one, do you want to start the next one?
Yes. Next one is what Sternberg calls companioned love, not compassionate, companioned love, and the components here liking and intimacy. And did I say that? Yeah, and like.
So there's no passion.
Yes. So the passion is missing. So it's basically, you know, you like, you know, the person.
And
It's
commitment actually is missing as well.
and commitment is missing. So it's, I'm just trying to figure out what's the difference between this and friendship, liking and intimacy. So basically, that's it. There is no long-term commitment, because friendship can be even like long-term commitment there, but here is no long-term commitment. There is just like but it's stronger than friendship. That's the difference. It's stronger than friendship because there is a long-term commitment that stays there. You can, it doesn't even have to be woman and man. And to be honest, it can be like just friendship between women that lasts for a very long time, or it can be friendship with men and women. I don't know how about you, Susie, but I do believe in friendships between men and women. Like I've got, you know, few of them myself,
Yes.
and they
Yes.
never developed into anything more and into it is not, you know, some people are skeptical about this, but you know.
Yeah, no, and I
Work for years actually.
I have two brothers, so I'm quite and like you mentioned before at the beginning, when we growing up or are you developing as a woman at the start of your your relationships, you learning, we all learning. So I am quite friendly, and I was friendly with men because they were, because I find it easy to talk to them and to connect to them, like I said, because I have two brothers. So I grew up with two men, and but it could be sometimes misunderstood that that they probably wanted more than me. I wanted just a friendship, but it was misunderstood. And but now I think the messages are clear. because I'm in a relationship, and so the messages are clear. They're not so confused anymore for anyone. So I do have very good, friendships with men. So yeah.
Interesting. Good. So let us know whether this is kind of opening up something for you so far. We've got 2 more to go through, but it's interesting. Would you agree that it's quite interesting to kind of go into like where am I? Like,
Yeah.
is my husband still do I still feel like he's got my back? Like, do I still feel that he wants the same thing and he's committed to me, and that I can count on him for another 20 years? Like those questions, I think, when we're going through this theory, rise up for all of us,
Yeah.
which is
It
interesting.
could be an indication of improvement, like where can we improve or work on that relationship, isn't it?
Yeah. Next one we have here is fatuous love, and the components here are commitment and passion, which is very interesting because what is missing is intimacy. So a lot of women, especially, I was kind of questioning this a little bit for myself when I was processing it, because we know that most of women, and I'm generalizing, so sorry girls and boys, but most women, for any kind of sexual act, we would agree that we need some kind of, not just warm up, but warm up in terms of emotions, in terms of understanding, in terms of intimacy, in this sense. But in this kind of type of relationship, that part is completely missing. So really what these 2 people have is passion, which is great,
and commitment.
and commitment. So they're committed to be with each other till cows come home, and they want to have a sex. They are infatuated by another, but they wouldn't really talk. They wouldn't give each other anything else. So it's called fatuous love. It's definitely something that can work still, but I dare to say that for most, especially women, I would say, who are got some kind of awareness, it wouldn't be enough, because there wouldn't be understanding, there wouldn't be conversation at the end of the day. Yeah. What do you think?
Or before, or just conversation, or
yeah.
Yeah.
What did you have for lunch? They have sex and then they go to sleep. I don't know. To me, it would be maybe passionate, but after some time, I can imagine it would be fairly empty kind of love. But
it is called empty love, isn't it? I think I saw somewhere. Somewhere it's called empty love. No, there is empty love.
Empty love is when nothing is there.
Nothing is there.
There's no passion, nothing. Yeah. But it's interesting, isn't it? And I'm not, making it wrong. This can work in certain stage of life. I know I was in certain stages of life where I was not looking for commitment, not looking for a long-term partner, and this was kind of enough. It can totally work. It's just I don't think it can work kind of long-term, like marriage, children type of, relationship that we want to kind of grow all together in this kind of relationship. So there's good thought.
And also it could start like that, or it could be like that and develop into something deeper, intimate.
Yes.
Because that intimacy is missing there.
Yes, absolutely. And the last one, I leave it to you, Susie, because this is kind of our ideal.
So
it's consummate
that's the
love.
ideal one, when all of them are present. So it's called consummate love when all the components, intimacy, passion, and commitment, are present. Or maybe intimacy, passion, and short-term commitment, like you mentioned, living together, moving in together, and being confident and comfortable with each other from the start, or working towards to and knowing that we want to be together and working towards something together. Yeah.
It's what we
So,
ultimately, I think, what we all want, because desire for us in partnership, in relationships, in marriages is ultimately we want it all, right? We want to have a great sex, we want a partner we can rely on, we want to have a great conversation, we want to have a laugh, we want to have, you know, someone who will back us up, or someone who will hold us strong when we are falling apart, or when life gets tough. You know, we want this kind of love, and it's very unique, and it's very precious. The good thing is that even if we are not there, you know, for those of you who are listening and they're thinking, and you might be thinking, okay, well, the passion is gone, we barely have a time to talk to each other, and was left, okay, yeah, we've got a kid, so I guess commitment, you know. For those of you who might be thinking this way, this is not a bad news, this is a good news, because it all, I believe, starts with awareness.
yeah.
You know, it might be very hard from the beginning to face the reality and to realize, like, okay, great, I really don't want to have a sex with him anymore, because I don't feel that he gets me, and he pushes me away with his actions, or, you know, things that he say or doesn't say or do. You know, but it's hard to kind of realize that, and we all have waves in relationships, right? It's fluctuate.
Yeah.
But it's good news in a sense that we're only and only, again, when we are brave enough to face the reality in relationship, then we are able to kind of own the truth, and then you know, make the sense, first of all, of it in our own head, and then because we make sense about the situation for ourselves, we are then able to communicate it to our partner, and that's the beginning of something that can move you forward in relationship. Without it, nothing will ever happen, and everything will just continue the way it is, or, you know, with time, I dare to say, if we don't pay attention to our relationship, it's got a tendency to worsen. Yeah.
So this theory is actually a good kind of exercise or pointer to see you could do it, or you could do it, you know, on your own or with help, like where it is, and to have that kind of exercise and see, okay, realize that this is where I am, this is where we are in our relationship, and take it from there.
Yes, and I guess, you know, what came across to me is that maybe you can even sit with your friend, and maybe you can even, you know, take three components: intimacy, passion, and commitment, and rate it from 0 to 10. Like reality check for your, you know, current relationship, and maybe share it with friend. You know, it's sometimes much easier than do it on your own on a paper. You can do that as well, but if you have a good friend, maybe you can do it with, you know, with her, and just kind of like share it very honestly. And then when you put the number onto, you know, different on all three, then maybe you can say, okay, well, I find it's, you know, I don't know, 6 because of this, because you know, this is still working, but this is no longer working, you know. So play with it, have a fun, and you know, this is what it's for. And you know, I think it's fun, and it's very, very useful to use it, and to, you know, use it as something that can, you know, move us forward in not only in relationships, but also in lives.
In life, exactly. I was gonna say exactly the same. It goes further than relationship. It's good for life in general. Yeah. So, and if you know, if anyone needs help with that, Lutzka is the expert. She's been working with women for many years.
Yes.
Relationship expert, and yeah, she's great.
Yes. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, we will put the visual in the comments. Any questions, anything you would like to ask us, let us know. We can support you. We are going to be very happy to do that. Oh yes. Yes, this is what happens when you go live. Thank you so much for being patient with us and for this little one of coughing for 2 days. But I'm very glad we've been able to be with you anyway. And in 2 weeks' time, roughly, yes, Susie, we have something very interesting for you. We are going to be maybe even streaming in Slovak, we will see. And we are going to have a very interesting exercise for you. In the meantime, let us know what you would like to talk about. What kind of things are you interested about, or would like to, you know, I don't know, what is occupying your mind. I always like to ask people this,
Yeah.
so we can support you, we can help you, we can be
Exactly. Let us know, and it'll be great if we get some ideas, so we can talk about things that are in your life right now, and like you said, that are really on your mind, and it's good to talk about it and get it out of the head. That's the first thing, isn't it? So we can do that in our
and
life.
maybe find out you are not alone, that
Yes.
someone else got exactly feels exactly the same, or it's got exactly the same thought, and that's a release itself, when at least for me, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not the weird one, I'm not the strange one. There is more of us, and it's definitely more of us. It's just people don't talk about it enough. So
we're here for.
That's what we're here for, exactly. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. We love you. We be with you again in 2 weeks' time. Zuzka, thank you very much for your patience, and we are going to do a little.
Thank you so much, and see you. Bye.
See you. Bye.